Hello everybody, this is Gummyville Gamer, back to bring you the next episode in Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. In this episode, we go through just the next area that right now off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of it. I admittedly screwed up a lot of things in this episode.
I'm kind of retarded.
I messed up the audio so bad that it's pretty much unusable, so I'm just kind of going to do a voiceover in post. I might actually do it just right now and zoop myself over into the corner over here or wherever I may see fit. But before we get into this, go ahead and drop a like, go ahead and drop a comment on what your favorite part of the episode was, maybe something within the commentary that you liked or disliked, you know, whatever it may be, I'm all ears. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button for notifications. I will be posting at least weekly. I have this project going on, and I have another project that I'm going to be working on right after this. Well, me and a bud recorded some Pokemon Battle Evolution battles against each other. I'm really excited to see how that project turns out. Without further ado, let's get into this. Hey everybody! Yeah, it's me, up here in the corner. Yeah, I screwed everything up bad. Really messed up the recording. So, here I am in post. This is my first time doing this, so here I am to kind of fill the void. First, I kind of just want to highlight a couple things that I've enjoyed so far while playing through Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Kirby's movement so far has been more precise than I really expected going into playing. It just feels right. He feels slow at times, but it just feels right. We kind of imagine Kirby to kind of feel like the weight of a balloon. So his weightlessness coupled with his kind of slow top speed feels just right. Kirby accelerates to his top speed fairly quickly, but as expected, once he's there, he ain't really schmoving. Another thing I like so far is the power-ups. Power-ups have always made the Kirby games what they are. In this game, the unique thing about them is you can actually upgrade them. The copy abilities is what I mean by the power-ups, by the way. Every ability, like from the get-go, has already felt really, really amazing. But just knowing that every single one of them you can upgrade is just really, really cool. Also, like, the bosses so far felt super unique. The big unique thing about them isn't just in their design, it's more of the patterns in which they attack isn't just one or two patterns. They're usually multiple, and then halfway through or 3/4 of the way through they throw a few more wrenches at you and they kind of change it up a bit. And so just overall, even though the difficulty isn't really all that high, it just makes the bosses feel more special. Knowing the variance in everything that they can do and throw at you, you really have to learn on the fly. Even though it's really not all that hard to learn their different moves on the fly, I've never felt going into a boss like I can just jam the same button over and over again and beat it. Like, I actually legitimately have to learn what they're doing on the fly. Very easy to learn, but it's very fun, so it's just that right level. Speaking of kind of difficulty, admittedly, the difficulty is very easy. The difficulty in Kirby games has always been easy, so that's like expected. How I've kind of like described it before is it's like a stress-free adventure through a really beautiful world. And guess what? This game has a very beautiful world. Everything looks crisp and beautiful. The only times that I've really experienced a death is when my brain is just completely shut off and I'm just going through the motions, and that's the only time that I've really gotten close to death, and I think I've only died like twice. Also, I suck at video games, so that's another thing. I enjoy playing video games, but I suck at them. Even though there's a lot of extra that you can do in each level, I never really felt too much incentive to do so. Maybe there's something in post-game that requires you to like 100%, but at this point, I never really felt so much incentive to do everything in the level. I try to, but like at the end of the level, if I haven't 100% of it, 100%ed it, I never feel like, oh crap, I gotta go back and do that. I just feel like I can push on and kind of move to the next level. I feel like the difference between plowing through a level and then taking my meticulous time going through it, there's really not much of a difference. Granted, I'm only partly through the game. Maybe there's something post-game that requires that, or maybe towards the end it requires you to get more Waddle Dees or something, so it would require you to go back through them. I know like Super Mario 3D World, the first time playing through it, I remember there becomes a point that if you weren't collecting all of the stars, or green star, whatever they were, through most of the game, it doesn't really matter, and then it becomes to this point, I believe in World Bowser, where it's like, hold up, no, you got to get everything or we're not letting you through, or most everything, and so it really makes you go back through and try harder. So maybe that might happen this game, maybe it might not. I guess in closing, if I need to switch to more post-game commentary, I will, or not post-game, but post-recording commentary, I will. I guess in kind of closing to this little section of the video, I've really enjoyed this game so far. I've played Kirby games in the past. I grew up playing some on the Game Boy Advance and on my Nintendo DS growing up. And something that I've really always loved about the Kirby games is they've just felt like little joyous adventures that are fun, that you can learn the mechanics pretty easy, and when you learn the mechanics, you feel really good being able to perform them. And so far, this game has hit on those same exact things. But the biggest difference is, not to be too cliche, is it's just so open. And that's what makes this game amazing. Is it a hit like Super Mario Odyssey? No, there's definitely not that much in this game. Or like Breath of the Wild, there's definitely not that much in this game. But is there a lot more than like Kirby All-Star Allies? Yes, there's tons more in this game. So it's really a beautiful Kirby game. And it gives us hope for the future of what will future Kirby games be like. I think this was a great first step into the third dimension. Yes, Kirby has been in the third dimension before, but not like this. This is really the first big step for them. So kudos to Team HAL, and let's hope they continue to make amazing games. My fingers are crossed for Kirby Air Ride 2. I know it's just not going to happen, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's really the game that got me into playing Kirby games. That was my first Kirby game growing up. Around one of our Christmases growing up, me and I have 3 sisters. In this one particular year, we got a Nintendo GameCube and a PlayStation 2. All my sisters, they played the PlayStation 2. I hoarded that GameCube and I loved it. And I remember the games that I got on it that year were Kirby Air Ride, a Zelda kind of collection, and Pokemon Coliseum. I later got Pokemon XD, and I got some other games here and there, but Kirby Air Ride I played all the time. Eventually, one of my sisters, she joined in, always playing that game with me also. It was one of the very few Nintendo games that she would actually play multiplayer in. Oh yeah, I also had Melee obviously growing up, but it was one of the few multiplayer Nintendo games that she would join in with me on, and it was such a joy. I still have it to this day. I bust it out every once in a while. Maybe I might make some content with that, but that's what really got me into the Kirby games. And then playing through all the other Kirby games, they were amazing platformers, but they just, weren't 3D, they weren't open world, and I never really thought it was a fault to the series. I never really took it as, oh, they could do better, but definitely jumping back into this, I'm so excited for the future. Here's to hoping that Kirby has an amazing future. Well, at this point, let's see if I have to add any more commentary. If not, here comes the boss. Oh, that's blocked. I mean, this is King Dedede, like... Oh, wow, he looks different. Like, he looks like beast-like. Okay. What the mess? I love the music for that. That was a little bit anticlimactic with the residual damage. They make a lot of the bosses easier because of that. Oh. Hey, you can't take my friend. Well, that concludes today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and like this video. Drop a comment down below on what your favorite part of, whether it be the commentary, how I even screwed up in this, whichever corner I ended up putting it in, how I ended up screwing up in the frame rate of that was way off, and so my mouth is doing like super weird things while the voice that you hear is all discombobulated, just all over the place, but the audio at least sounds okay. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button for notifications. I will be posting at least weekly, and please tune on in. I'm continuing to work on more and more projects, so thanks for my regular viewers, and thanks for the subscribers that I have now. I really appreciate every single one of y'all. Without further ado, Gummy Bear Gamer, out!